be an amazing company, and then after like 2005, when the French took them over, they went to shit.
Guess what? Take a good guess of what's going on, boy.
You drinking coffee?
Nope. Something worse than coffee. Please stand
Oh
by.
no.
Your audio may be
Another
included.
fireball?
Please stand by. Audio may be included.
Oh, another live stream. Yay.
Doink it, doink it, doink it, doink it, doink. Just having too much fun. Hi, I'm Tally. You want to get high?
When I hear the name Tolly, I think of one particular Mass Effect character.
Mhm.
Why are you staring at me like that?
What? 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 I wasn't staring at you at all. I was staring at my Xbox screen. What the fuck are you smoking, boy?
Your character was just glaring at me after I said that awkwardly.
Loading up. You know what? Probably should go harvesting some nuts. Probably not going to be on VR for very long. Don't know. It all depends on what happens here in the next half hour.
You know, I was gonna ask, like, you want to do that into the unknown thing?
Nah. I just want to chill and vibe, dude. I just want to chill and
Well, VR chat would be the game to do that in.
vibe. Let's see here. I'm gonna hop on, FS25. FS25. Probably go have a hissy fit with fucking loading up some pallets and may or may not crash into a school bus or two by accident because they don't want to pay attention to the road.
Oh god, I just murdered a family of 5.
Yeah, let's just say when I was driving my semi truck in Farmington last night, let's just say a school bus decided to try to fucking run a red light while I had a green and basically whacked right inside of my semi truck. And like, I was like, you can't stop a semi truck. A semi truck takes forever to stop. So I'm sitting there trying to slam on the brakes anyhow, and I still, well, I still took that bus right there in the center. This is a full size bus in the game, so it's like that's a big 50 foot, 53 foot, school bus almost 40 foot school bus. Just right there in the middle, just semi truck. If there's some IRL physics involved in the game, yeah, we'll just say there would be no survivors inside that bus. That's how bad yeah. 60 miles an hour, going 60 on a semi truck. And all of a sudden a school bus
Now,
is going, like, yeah, that's not gonna end well.
like, I can't stop myself now from looking down with the face mirror active at my own black beans.
Beans,
Thanks,
beans,
nice.
beans, 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 So you might have a foot fetish, a bean fetish now.
Well, not as much as I would for something else that I'm not going to talk about on stream.
What? Luna Hellhound?
Well, partly that, but also a certain Star Fox character.
Oh, Fox McCloud.
Well, more specifically, his girlfriend.
Crystal, yeah. The one
But
thing-
even I, overall, kind of lost my love for Nintendo. And earlier today, I heard how every single like legal patent battle that they filed was lost here in the U.S.
yeah,
And you know,
yeah, because they're trying
like,
to sit there and file all these patents and all these patents also affect a shit ton of other fucking games that Nintendo has never owned and never filed, those patent claims before on those games, and they're fucking coming after fucking Pocket Pair because of Power World. And now they're trying to sit there
yeah,
and file all these fucking patents
they're trying.
so they can fucking fuck over Power World, and Power World's like, yeah, no, if you're gonna do this to us, you might as well do this to this game, this game, this game, this game, this game, this game. And yeah, Nintendo is not happy whatsoever.
I mean, that would be like if Rockstar sued CD Projekt Red for making Cyberpunk 2077. Like, they didn't invent the concept of an open world game.
Yeah.
And Nintendo technically didn't even invent the concept of summoning companions to fight for you in games.
Yeah. But it's a sphere-like object, and that's what they're trying to claim as a patent. It's a sphere-like
But
object.
so far,
You know
they
how many
seem.
games that have sphere-like objects that do that for summoning. Man, Nintendo hasn't done shit. Like, come on.
I mean, Ark kinda does this, except it's a disc.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but if it was a sphere, they would get in trouble.
Like, it's just too generic an idea to
Yeah.
copyright.
Yeah, it's too generic. Excuse me. That's a hiccup. I like how I'm just sitting here fucking trying to load up a semi-truck with a fucking forklift right now full of firewood. Sitting here just...
But Nintendo has been trying so hard to put Pal World under,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
'cause
seems
they're-
that they
they're
failed
those-
every single time.
Yeah, because Nintendo's fucking losing their fucking player base because of, Power World's similar to Pokemon. But at the same time, Power World is more open world, and that's why a lot of people who love Pokemon have been playing Power World, is because Power World is not it's not repeating the same shit over and over again, and that's why Nintendo is trying to fucking file all these lawsuits. Is because they're losing their player base because they don't want to sit there and fucking make their players happy, by adding new shit. And Power World basically did that and has made it a lot of fun. It's like, I'm sorry, I love Pokemon, and yeah, granted that Pocket Pair Power World is a ripoff of Pokemon. I ain't gonna lie about that. But it is a fucking such a good ripoff that I'm fucking thankful that Pocket Pair is doing what they're doing, because Pokemon has been repetitive for years. The same beat, same shit, just reamped. All they did was update the graphics every fucking time. Update the graphics. It really did not fucking change a lot. Here, fucking Power World, the Pocket Pair, they've been sitting there fucking changing shit all the time. Now, like, the mechanics are different. They're always adding new shit in. It's like, wow, this is like, fucking really love it. I fucking like to be able to do this. And then what's really nice is Pocket Pair allows in-game mods. And it's like, they allow you to fucking mod your fucking shit. You're like, oh yeah, you want to get some good high-range pallets? By using mods, go for it. We don't care. We want you guys to have fun. That's all they care about. They want to have people to have fun. Well, if you try modding, if you try modding a fucking, Pokemon fucking game, so you have some very strong Pokemon, Nintendo's gonna look like, oh yeah, you modded this, yeah, you're banned. Fuck you. You don't get to play this game no more, you're banned. And that's what pissed off, that's like, that's why I'm like, I really love Pocket Pair. They actually fucking allow you to make the game interesting to fit your play style. Nintendo? No, they don't care. They only care about making money, just like Rockstar. Rockstar only cares about making money. They don't really care about their fucking player base. They just care about making the fucking money. And people get pissed off when I say that about fucking, when I say that about fucking GTA. It's like, oh yeah, they don't fucking care about, their player base, because all they care about is fucking money, 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 money.
And that's,
They don't fucking care
like,
about their player base. And people
and
get
that's
pissed off
why,
when
like, a
people say
few
that.
years back, that I was thinking that maybe indie games are the future and the only thing that can save the industry now. Which is ironic, given that Nintendo were the ones who saved the video games industry in the 80s when it crashed.
Mm-hmm. It's all, basically we just boils down. It's like all these big companies, all they care about is fucking money. They really don't fucking care about their fucking player base. And then when these small companies come in, trying to make everyone happy, who are in the video gaming community, it's like these big companies try to shut them down, saying, oh yeah, you're doing this, this, and that, and we claim these patents, blah, 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 blah. Yet there's other video games, or small video games that use the same patents, and you don't go after those guys. Like, what the hell? I hate to say this, but Nintendo could really fucking shove it up their fucking ass. I don't fucking
Oh, that they
it.
can. And, seeing as how I finally got an OC for Sauna, I more or less sort of cut, some of my ties to what made me a furry in the first place. But it was also in part a decision influenced by Nintendo's greed.
You know what's funny is what got me into being a furry fandom myself was literally just like finding out about furries and found out, oh, there's this thing called Fursuit Friday. Oh, I get to basically dress up as a werewolf every Friday now? I don't have to fucking wait to Halloween, because that's what basically my parents told me. It's like I wasn't allowed to wear my werewolf costume unless it was Halloween. And then I found out about the furry fandom, and, well, really pissed off my dad, for starters. He does not care about the furry fandom at all. He seems very poorly about it, but you know what? It's like, oh, you're worshiping the devil, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sorry, no. I'm sorry, no.
Coming from the guy who, like, straight up almost murdered his own son and his,
no.
like, previous wife.
No. That's my biological father. That's not the father who raised me. The
Ah,
father who
right.
raised me fucking, yeah. Like, my dad, I call him my father because he was the only father figure I had my entire life. And that's why I just call him dad or fathers, because yeah, he's the only dad figure I had, and I knew about my biological father. And yeah, my dad also knew about him too, and he would fucking have a secret with my biological father if he ever met him. I'm glad he has it, because yeah, I would just say my biological father is probably not ever gonna make it out of fucking PC custody when he messed with the wrong person. So, tried starting some shit, well, and you end up fucking going into protective custody afterwards. It's just that simple. And then if I can, shit like that happens. That's how life works. But yeah, it's like, when those people fight, but yeah, I'm a hardcore Christian, and it's like, my dad's side of the family is Roman Catholics, but if you actually truly look at the Bible, God wants us to be, He doesn't want us to fear Him, and, well, I hate to say this about the Catholics, but the Catholics sit there and try to install fear from the Bible into you as, as young kids, trying to say, oh yeah, you go to hell, blah, 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 for this, this, and that, yet God wants us to accept Him for who He is. He doesn't want us to fear Him. He wants us to love Him and get along with Him. And the Catholics say, oh no, it's like, God gave us free will. If He wants us to enjoy life and care and love for Him. Well, I like enjoying life. Like, if I like dressing up as a werewolf because I find it fun, doesn't mean I'm worshiping the devil. It means I'm enjoying life, and that's what God wanted us to do. And yeah, let's just say my dad's side of the family is not very happy with that decision. And it's like my mom's side of the Presbyterian. My mom's side of the family is Presbyterian. I just butchered that whole sentence. And it's like, And the Presbyterian Church, I still go to church. Granted, yeah, the church service is in a different time zone and a different state now, but I still go to it technically. I just watch the online services, you know, because that's the church I always felt more comfortable in. And you know, God literally states in the Bible He wants us to be comfortable with Him. He doesn't want us to fear Him. Catholic Church doesn't really believe in that. They want to say, oh yeah, that's not true, that's blah blah blah. Like, yet you read the Bible, the Catholic Bible versus the Presbyterian Bible, you can always see a lot of this shit just flows back down to the same thing. He doesn't want us to fear Him. It's just the Catholics try to word it differently, and it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just, no.
And a lot of people lately have also been converting to Orthodoxy, which I barely know anything about. But, you know, like, I know a couple people who converted to Orthodoxy, and I asked one of them, why are you Orthodox Christian? And he, well, gave a rather long-winded explanation, but he basically, I mean, I pretty much summed it up as two things. He said that, one, he believed it to be the closest thing to the original church historically, and the second one was a more personal reason for him.
Yeah. And like I said, basically all boils down is, you know, God wants us to accept Him, but at the same time, He doesn't want us to fucking fear Him. And it's like, a lot of churches try to sit there and install fear into believing in God, and it's like, that's not how God wanted us to, you know, go. And it's like, and my dad's side of the family basically condemns me because it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna go to hell because you're a furry, you believe in, you know, blah 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 blah. It's like, and it's like, I believe in what God wants us to, you know, to enjoy life. He gave us free will. He wanted us to enjoy life. He didn't want us to fucking fear Him. He wanted us to love Him, not fear Him. It's like, it's just stupid. That's all I gotta say. It's just stupid how things work.
And one of my biggest criticisms of Catholicism was always that, like, 500 years ago, they were basically what, you know, the televangelist cultists are like now. You know, with the whole sale of indulgences thing. It's like, pay your way out of hell today.
Yeah.
And back then, the Protestants had a big... I mean, originally, the Protestant, or what would become the Protestants, they didn't necessarily want to leave the Catholic Church. They wanted to reform it until they got kicked out.
Yep.
And then the Hussite Wars happened. Like, I'm in a, like, small group, on Telegram that's focused on history and run by a history nut friend of mine. And he's a Mormon. Which, there's also very interesting history behind them as well.
You know, listen, out of all the religions, I would say that Mormons, I'm not trying to be a hater or anything, it's just, I think the Mormons need to, like, to understand boundaries. I literally basically had to call the cops on a couple of Mormon elders because they kept on coming to my mom's
You're
house.
probably thinking of the Jehovah's
No,
Witnesses.
these were Mormons. They were actual Mormons. They kept on coming to my mom's house, and after being repeatedly told off by my mom, my stepdad, myself, and my little brother that, hey, we don't believe in your ways, can you please quit coming to our house? And they would continue to come over and over again, the same people. And finally one day I told them, it's like, you come here one more time, I am either going to, one, I'm going to call the cops, or two, you're going to end up getting a shotgun. Right now, you've been told multiple times to stay off our property. You've been told multiple times to quit coming, yet you continue to come. And it's always been the same church. Like, I literally have called the church and told them to quit coming to my mom's house, and they still did. Like, come on, for the love of God. It's like, if they truly believed in God, they would know when to fucking stop and stay out of people's, people don't want you there, and they ask you to please multiple times to quit coming, and you continue to come and harass them. Like, there's been times when I first got my truck, when I first bought my truck, I had to do a few things to it. I was in there in my mom's driveway working on my truck, and here they come, try to start talking with me when I'm working on my truck. I'm literally covered in grease, like trying to talk to me about God, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I already go to church. I have my own beliefs. We all have our own beliefs in this household, and we have our own ways how we do things. If you guys don't like it, that's between you and God. But we would like you to quit. We don't care that you come and talk to us, but consistently trying to convert us over to your group is where it becomes a problem. And I've told them that. We don't care. God wants us to accept Him as how we want to go, and it's like you're going to sit there and try to reform someone into your Christianity group because they don't share the same beliefs as you, and you continue to come and harass them. That's just borderline. That's borderline. Hey, just hate it. I've even told this to my dad. He goes, like, oh, you're worshiping the devil, believing these other groups. And I'm like, no, you guys are worshiping the devil because you're sitting there trying to condemn everyone. Only God is allowed to condemn other religions. That is not up to us to decide. That is up to God Himself. And that's why I quit being a Catholic, because I was born and raised in the Presbyterian Church for 2 years before I was adopted and was brought into a Catholic family. And I can tell you right now, I hated being a Catholic. I went back to my roots of being a Presbyterian, because I felt more comfortable and more accepted there and through God. At the Catholic Church, I felt very uncomfortable. I was constantly having people breathing down my back telling me that, oh, I was worshiping the devil and stuff. It's like, no. It's like, if you truly read the Bible word for word and actually understand it like it's supposed to be understood, you can tell that God wants us to love our neighbors and respect our neighbors' boundaries. But sitting there constantly trying to reform them into whatever, into beliefs that they don't believe in, is literally, he even stated it, it's borderline worshiping the devil. You're trying to force someone else to take your beliefs. God didn't want us to do that. He said, yeah, we can spread the word, but don't continue to say, hey, oh, you're shooting the devil by believing in this. And that's what really pissed me off with the Catholic Church.
Yeah, they have a tendency to believe that everybody outside the church is a heretic, whether they actually are or not.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, it literally just boils down to, like, it's like God gave us free will. He's given us to believe in whatever way we want to believe in. At the same time, He literally just, it boils down. If you believe in Him, and you believe in Him to be the rightful and true God and all that, He's the one He's going to sit there and judge you. Us human beings are not supposed to judge whatsoever. We're not supposed to condemn people to hell, because at that time, that's when God says, hey, you're condemning people to hell, and I told you not to judge. That's part of the Ten Commandments. You shall not judge, for you'll be judged in the same manner you judge others. And that's why I'm like, okay, there's certain boundaries and stuff, and I respect those boundaries. Being the person who I am, yes, I have grown up being a Presbyterian, Roman Catholic. I've been in Christianity groups. I've literally told the Catholic Church, I'm a spiritualist. I believe in the only one true God. You may not believe in the same way I do, but I believe exactly what it says by the Bible. And they're like, oh, you don't believe exactly by the Bible if you're a spiritualist. The reason I call myself a spiritualist is because I go off the Bible. I've read the Bible multiple times. And if you actually sit there and break it down the way it's supposed to be broken down and preached, you're going to notice that, hey, yeah, a lot of these, Christianity groups are just sitting there trying to install fear through you. God doesn't want us to fear Him. He wants us to love Him and accept Him as who He is. The devil is the one who installs fear. not God. And that's why I just call myself a spiritualist. I just can't sit there and say I belong to one church. Granted that, yes, I feel more comfortable in the Presbyterian church because they've been the most accepting towards me. And that's why it's like, and I've even told them, like, hey, I don't want to claim myself to be a full-on Presbyterian. I want to be considered as a spiritualist because I'm believing in God in the same way, but you guys have been the most acceptable, been the most accepting church that I've been in. You don't sit there and try to install fear. And they're like, hey, as long as you believe in God, that's all we care about. And it's like, if you have a different way about doing it, that's okay, as long as you believe in God. It's what the elders in the pasture at the Presbyterian Church have told me. As long as I believe in God, it may be the way that everyone wants us to believe in. It's all that matters is if you truly believe in God to be your Savior. It has nothing to do with anything else.
I will be right back. I need to step away. Need to...
Stepping away from me. Where would I put it? There's that icon. The sleep trigger in the game. Alright, let's see here. Another beautiful day on Farming Simulator 25. Yes, stream, I am multitasking. I am here on VR chat, hanging out with my friends, as well playing Farming Simulator 25. Sadly, you're not seeing the gameplay footage of that, because I'm on a different device for that at the moment, too. Well, until I can figure shit out, I'm not going to be able to this beautiful avatar on screen until I can figure shit out. Because technology is technology. You gotta love it, and you gotta hate it at the same time. That's how technology works. I need to go check the water, the H2O. Pull the semi-truck with water tanker on it. Out. Take care of this. 100 miles an hour. Seriously. This semi does not go that fast. It goes up to 52 miles an hour. Max. Wish it could go faster, but really can't complain. Gotta deal with what you got. Incoming freight train of a semi. Just hope I don't fucking roll my semi like I did the other day for going speed in dollars. Did that earlier. It's not fun. I do one more trailer by the looks of it. Yeah, I need one more semi-truck load of firewood. I need to flatbed it. Not today, I need to flatbed it. Ooh. Oh, what a relief it is. Firewood! We want one, two, and a 4. 2 sets of 10 and 1 set of 4. And that fills up all the spaces for firewood. And that's exactly how many it takes. 24 pallets to load up the semi-truck full of firewood. And I love the forklift I've been using. I can pick up 3 pallets at a time with it. Nice. Helps unload and load a lot faster. I think I got 2 forklifts. One at the place of picking up the firewood, and one at the other place for unloading. So actually, don't use for unloading because you can find some mechanics work differently. So I mean, we use it for loading up the other product. Make the syrup be like yum yum yum, giddy giddy giddy, sweetie sweet sweets. Schwartz is still AFK. Well, I don't want to be in a semi-truck, man. I want to be on a forklift. Certified forklift driver. I literally have a motto when it comes to Farming Simulator. If it fits, it ships. See, I can load down a semi-truck really good. I can get it to fit on the semi-truck, and I can get it to ship. It fits, it ships. I have literally put like 2 combines on the same semi. Normally you're supposed to do 1, but I can do 2. If it fits, it ships. Oh, I hear a report coming back. Welcome
Yes,
back.
I'm back.
How was the trip? Did the mistletoe attack you?
No, she rushed right back into my room, though.
Honestly. Oh, that would have been a good April Fool's joke. That's for sure. Had a girl that you really like over and just have mistletoe just come in the room. Like, oh, a mistletoe has just entered the room. That means we got a kiss, right? Your cat's name is Mistletoe. I still can't believe you think that your cat's named that. Because you can literally get you can pull some really mean jokes on people with that. With your kitty.
Technically, I think my mom gave her that name.
Meow. I heard you, Mistletoe. You crazy kitty.
Well,
We got a fox, we got a wolf, and a kitty cat.
I guess if I ever leaned heavily into streaming, I ought to get a cat cam like Nice has a doggo cam.
You know it's just an extra webcam, right? That he points at the dog. As soon as he's got his dogs on the screen. I mean, like, where you're using your webcam for face tracking for the game, while I'm doing the same thing. We're playing on desktop mode, and I plan on getting a full body tracking in due time. I just can't afford it at the moment. I got other expenses to take care of that are more important than that. For example, I got to fucking replace the ball joints on the steering assembly on my truck, as well as replace the rear main oil seal, so on the crankshaft.
At one point, I think we did replace the lower main oil seal on the Mustang.
There's no such thing as lower. You got the rear, and then you got your front.
Well, it was the rear engine main seal on that car was 2 pieces, and I think the bottom part was relatively easy to access.
Usually the oil seals are supposed to be they're one piece. You gotta basically take off you gotta take the engine out, drain all the oil, put the engine upside down, pull the oil pan off, then pull the pedal box off to replace the seals, because you got basically to loosen the pedal box just to get the seals to properly sit and all that stuff, which means you gotta sit there and then you have to torque down those bolts down the spec, back to spec. It's just a pain in the ass process. Granted, yes, there is some main oil seals that you can just slap, pull the engine out, pull the seals out, and slap them back in with a fucking rubber mallet, but I don't do it that way. I prefer to sit there and actually dismantle it from the whole vehicle. Pull the oil pan off, because if you just sit there and if you whack it wrong, it's gonna fuck up the seal. You might as well just do it right the first time around. That's coming from someone
When we
farm.
replaced the oil pan on the Mustang, well, I believe that you also had to remove the starter to get that off. And I noticed how, like,
fucking started on fucking starters and fucking Mustangs. I will not fucking touch a Ford Mustang starter ever again for a very long time.
and I noticed that half the teeth on that starter were missing, and I asked my papa, it's like, how much longer do you think this would last? He said about 6 months, so he just decided to get a new starter. Oh, but if you think that's bad, you should try replacing the starter on, especially, like, an older V8 Lexus. It's under the intake manifold.
2.5 hours with a coworker to pull the starter off of Patrick's fucking Mustang.
Is it, like, under the...
Hours. Yeah, it's underneath the engine, right up against the transmission, in a very, very, very tight spot to get. We had to use 5 different extensions, 3 universal fucking joints, just to get the socket on the fucking starter.
Like on some, late 80s, early 90s, and 2000s or so Toyotas and Lexus cars with a V8, the starter's actually under the intake manifold, nested right in between the 2 cylinder banks.
This is literally the frame rail and the engine mount is where the fucking starter is, basically, on Patrick's car. It's a pain in the ass to get to. I will not. I
But
don't plan on ever doing the starter again anytime soon. And by the way, this is
you know, like on the
Patrick has owned his car for what, 10 years now or something like that, and this is his second time he's replaced the starter, and he said, "Oh, you're supposed to replace the starter every 6 years." No, that's not true. That is not true whatsoever. My truck still has the original starter in it, and it's a 2002 Chevy S10. It still has the original starter.
the starter finally gave out on our 2004 Highlander, I think at about 300,000 miles, or at least it was starting to go bad then, and that was the original, I believe. And it's not too terrible. On the 3MZ FE engine, it's a 3.3 liter V6. So you have to remove the airbox and the battery, I believe, to get it out, but then it's right there on top of the transmission.
Well, at least
And I
that's
saw
easier
my dad do
At
it.
least that's easier access than what it is on a.
I'm not sure where it is on my Honda.
I do know that, like, I was like, I'm looking around $2,000 or $3,000 just to get my truck back to full-on road safety. That's just, literally the rear main oil seal, fixing the ball joints, getting new shocks and struts. And at this point, since I got to replace the shocks and struts on my truck, I might as well get the fucking lift kit as well while I'm at it, because it's like, why spend, $500 for new shocks and struts when I gotta have to pay an additional $500 again just to get new shocks and struts when I put it in the fucking 3-inch lift kit. Might as well buy it all at once for an extra $200 for the lift kit. I was like, I might as well just save my money if I'm gonna be replacing that shit, because my truck needs a lift kit. It's a little too short for me. But hey, yeah. So it's like, I'd rather spend the extra $200 to get the 3-inch lift kit with new shocks and struts versus spending $500 for new shocks and struts, and then when I know I'm just going to be putting the lift kit on my truck anyhow, it's like, why waste $500 when I know I'm just going to put a fucking lift kit on my truck? So it's like, I might as well just get the lift kit while I'm doing it. Replace the ball joints. Yeah, I'm looking about, $2,000, because it's $1,500 for the rear main oil seal fix, because I don't have the fucking proper tools and shit to fix it, so I have to take it to the shop for that. I can do the shocks and struts easily, and the ball joints, the steering ball joints. So it's like, I'm looking around I'm looking around $2,000, $3,000, a little over $2,000, about $3,000 to be reasonable to get everything that I need just to get my truck, to ride on the road a lot better. But I also got to do a whole bunch of other work on top of my truck besides, that. I got to fucking replace some of the interior shit because that interior shit got fucking stolen and is or missing. For example, like I had to throw away the passenger seat on my truck because it was bad. I was like, it was bad. There was a reason why I threw the seat away. There was a good reason why. It smelled like dog shit and piss. It got bad. And that's why I'm missing all the headliner, the floor liner, and the passenger seat. It was just gone out of my truck because it was bad. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
you told me that before.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the driver's seat survived and the third seat survived from that ordeal. But everything else I had to rip out because it was just bad.
When I first got my Civic, the previous owner used just way too many air filters. Well, air fresheners rather. And I still smelled it for a while when I got the car, but that's not that bad compared to that.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, I tried cleaning it out when it happened. I bought a fucking one of those pet fucking carpet wash things to try to get it out. And I did it like 3 or 4 different times, and I could not get the smell to go away. And then it happened again and again and again. And I was like, and my daughter is no longer with me, but because stuff happens in life. So at that point, I was like, okay, I no longer have the dog, I'm not going to ever get rid of this smell. I'm just going to rip this shit out and just replace it. And I haven't gone around replacing it because I just don't have the money in order to do it with at the moment. So just to get my truck, running back on the road without having an oil leak, replacing the ball joints, because those ball joints are basically bad. The shocks are bad, and the struts are bad, so I got to replace those. So it's like, just to make it mechanically sounding, and I had to replace the rear main oil seal, the shocks, the struts, as well as the ball joints, the steering assembly. I'm looking around $2,500 to about $3,000 just to get all that done. It's like, and then I'm looking at least another $2,000 just to replace the interior components that I'm missing. So it's like I'm looking around $5,000 just to get the truck to run and nice and drive and look nice again. So it's like I just really don't have that kind of money to spend on the truck at the moment. I mean, I'm tempted to make a shit. I just fucking flipped the semi again. Fucking A. Forklift. Where's the forklift? I need to go get the forklift. I flipped the semi truck again. Fuck. See, this is what happens when I'm not paying attention, when I start ranting about shit. Shit like this happens.
What?
I took the corner a little too fast, and, well, my truck being hot heavy just decided to go, whee! This is the second time I've done that with this semi-truck now. And in both times, it's been on the driver's side, too, when it hit. So, yeah, IRL physics, I would be suffering severe fucking concussion right now for that.
Sometimes I would watch some BeamNG videos that recreate real-life crashes, and they also talk about like how many people are injured or died in each one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to the junkyard with my dad a few times, and we saw some wrecked cars where the both of us were like, there's no way anybody survived that.
96 out of 1,000 liters for firewood, that's 96 out of 100,000, that's pretty decent. 96,000, I'm only 4,000 liters shy of firewood, that's fine.
The last few times I think I've been, or that I've been with my dad to the junkyard, like we were off getting parts for our old '04 Toyota Highlander, and this particular chain of junk lots had like a domestic section and an import section, and obviously we had to go to the import section to get what we needed for a Japanese vehicle. And sometimes we would have to ride for a couple hours on down to a junk lot in another town to find something. And then it turns out that someone else got to it first.
Yeah. You know how much it would have cost me if I just bought new door panels for my truck when I got T-boned? If I just straight up bought new door panels?
Probably $1,000 or $2,000.
I was looking at $3,000 for new door panels. Just to replace the doors. Almost looking at about $3,000. I went to a fucking salvage yard and bought all 3 doors for my truck, because yeah, it's a 3-door truck, and the hood for $200 off of another S10. That was just to, replace the dings and dents on the stuff that needed to be replaced. And it's like, the only reason why I replaced the passenger door is because, well, the driver door was going to be a fucking power window while the passenger was still a fucking manual. I was like, you know what? I might as well make them both powered. Might as well. Just buy the other door. That's why I bought all 3 doors. And I bought the hood because, well, the hood on my truck originally had a ding in it, and I was like, you know what? This hood's in very decent condition. I might as well just get this hood, just replace it. And that's what I did. And then I got my what's it called? I also bought the four-wheel drive assembly off of that other truck too. Like I bought all the components, the transfer case and the front TV, front axle, because I was going to put the four-wheel drive on my truck. Bought all that stuff, and so I about $400 in. And then, of course, family emergency shit happened, so I went back to Oregon for a little bit, and I had the four-wheel drive assembly sitting on a pallet at the family farm, and my uncle mistaked it for fucking scrap and scrapped it. So, yeah, I lost $200 worth of parts in the home. So, yeah, shit happens.
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna take. Yeah, I'm gonna load that up on the semi truck. That's just gonna make me a lot faster. I'm not driving a tractor at 20 miles an hour to the damn store to pick up some tractor implements. When I can just grab the semi trailer, the semi truck, and my step deck trailer with ramps on it, and just literally just load the tractor up on the back of that, and you get there a lot faster and you get everything I need in one go versus having to do multiple trips. If it fits, it shits, boys.
For a low flat rate. I was gonna say earlier that the CJ Pony Parts does make a power window kit for the Mustang, but I never see any point in it, and I don't see any point now when my Civic already has that, even if only 2 windows open.
Yeah.
Because I have the FG4 Coupe and not the sedan.
And you know what really makes me irritated is I had a couple of people, and I will say this, the Infinity Fox was one of those people who goes, "Are you sure these parts gonna fit your truck?" 2002 Chevy S10. And I had the extreme model, so mine's literally fucking, factory loaded, body kit, all that shit. I fucking ripped that body kit off. I got sick and tired of just going down the interstate. Got sick and tired of that noise. So I ripped the body kit off, and no reason why I wanted to fucking lift it. No, I got the truck I was able to afford at the time. But yeah, and when I'm sitting there getting replacement doors for my truck, he's like, "Are you sure these are gonna fit your truck?" I'm like, "It's a Chevy S10 body, same year. Well, it was a year off. Mine's a 2002 Chevy S10. The one that went with pulling parts off is a 2003 Chevy S10. Same, yeah, mine was, the extreme model, but the body style was exactly the same, the frame's exactly the same. I did my research, and he's like, "Are you sure these parts gonna fit your car?" Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Yes, they will fit my truck." Like literally, I could take a fucking 86 fucking Chevy S10 body and throw it on a fucking new school fucking Chevy S10 frame, and it would bolt right down onto it. Like, seriously, I know exactly what I was doing. It's like, I was being told, "Are you sure this is the figure truck? Are you sure this is the figure truck? Are you sure this is the figure truck? Your truck is a different year," and blah 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 blah. I'm like, that's the one thing I love about Chevy S10s. You can literally just plug and play through a lot of years. In fact, the Chevy S10 pickup truck and the Chevy S10 Blazer, which is the SUV, same fucking goddamn fucking frame, people. Same fucking frame. Don't tell me that, "Oh, it's not gonna fit, blah 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 blah." I'm like,
And the Honda Civics are kind of the same way. Like, I've heard of people, taking the head from the 2-liter K-Series engine and putting it on the K24 block for the best of both worlds to get a high RPM engine performance and to get more power there, while also keeping most of the torque that you would get from the K24. So it's sort of a Frankenstein build that's fairly common for people to do.
It literally just boils down to the same fucking. Sorry. It's like a lot of people like. And people like, oh, I know a shit ton about cars. You're not gonna be able to fucking take that fucking S10 body and put it on this S10 body. Excuse me. Don't tell a farmer's grandson what they can and cannot do to their vehicle, especially when they know about their fucking research about their vehicle. Like, I did my research. I knew what I was gonna be able to capably put on my truck and what I wasn't gonna be able to put on my truck.
I think some suspension parts might be interchangeable with the 8th and 9th gen Honda Civic, but the bodies maybe not so much. Like if you wanted to use taillights, like an 8th generation Civic taillights won't work on a 9th gen.
No, and yeah, that's to be expected, but the frame in it, most of the time, yeah, it's pretty easy to swap. It's usually the different body styles. Like for example, a 2002 Chevy S10 versus a 1986 Chevy S10. The body is style is gonna completely different. You're not gonna be able to fucking drop and play fucking headlights or anything like that between those models. You would have to replace the whole fucking area and then some to make it look nice.
Like the bodies, I think would definitely not necessarily be interchangeable, but with the Honda Civic platform, it's very common for people to K-engine swap the older chassis, like an EK Civic. And they weigh less than the FG4 that I have, so you get a pretty significant boost in power to weight. Especially if you modify that K engine and give it a turbo or give it a high power naturally aspirated build. So the first Type R ever made, I believe, was an EK9 model, which is like a late 90s hatchback. But we didn't get that. Here in the US. I believe that the first ever Type R was pretty much only sold in Japan when it was new.
Gotta love the Jake brake on the semis in this game.
Don't even some passenger pickup trucks that are diesel come with Jake brakes now?
No, Jake brakes are for heavy rigs. They're not meant for for pickup trucks. Pickup trucks are not a heavy rig. You might see them on a tow truck pickup truck, but not because they haul some heavy shit. But for standard pickup trucks, you're not going to find that on a standard pickup truck.
But I'm sure there's probably guys out there who might know how to retrofit a scaled down Jake brake on one.
Are just basically an engine brake. When you see signs that says no engine braking, that's basically telling the people that they can't fucking use Jake brakes. And a lot of the semi trucks have Jake brakes. Now, if you got a fucking semi truck that's going to construction site in a fucking zone that says no engine braking. Well, guess what? They have to fucking use the engine brake riders. If they don't do that, they're not going to be able to come to a stop. So it's like.
And the older the truck, the louder the Jake brake.
Not entirely true. Not entirely true. Basically what it comes down to is the power to weight ratio, what the jake brake basically boils down to. I'll tell you right now, the jake brake that's on the International Cab Over that's on the farm, that thing, yeah, it has a jake brake, but you really don't hear it that much. It's a quieter one. It's all depending on the power to weight ratio.
Whereas those almost 1100 horsepower modded lizard ones, it's really loud.
Oh yeah, especially on farm machines. Oh yeah, I love those jake brakes. I like it. The louder they are, the more muscle tone they have to them, and that's why I like them. Yes.
I also tried out the electric semi from Volvo on Farm Sim, but it feels pretty gutless. Like, it felt gutless compared to the 1100 horsepower
Yeah.
lizard.
I'm sorry. EV shit, can go shove it. I do not like electric vehicles. I hate them. In my opinion, electric vehicles do not have what it takes to actually do some good service. The hybrids I'm okay with. Certain hybrids I'm okay with, but full on electric, hell no. I'm sorry. No, I can't do full on electric. Right now, you probably don't know about this, but have you ever heard of a company called Edison Motors?
I haven't, no.
Okay, you should look them up on YouTube, Edison Motors. They're a logging company based up there in Canada, and they're making an electric hybrid semi-truck. It's really nice. Like, that right there, I 100% support them. Yeah, it still requires a diesel engine, but you really don't need a very powerful diesel engine to have the hybrid. Yeah, it's mostly electric most of the time, but it's basically just a diesel generator to keep the batteries charged.
So it's a diesel electric, like the German U-boats in the World Wars, where, like, the engine's not physically connected, it's just a generator, more or less.
Mm-hmm. And you have less stuff. It's like, because, yeah, you still have batteries and stuff, but if those batteries decide to fail, the generator will still keep you going, because it's still generating electricity. And
that's more or less how the first gen Volt worked, I think.
And that's why like, that's something I wouldn't mind. It's like if I don't mind the hybrids too much, because it's like, as long as you still have if you're able to still move the vehicle, that's what it boils down to. It's like, if you're still able to move the vehicle, because if you have let's just say your the batteries on your electric vehicle decide just to give out and quit working, and you're going down the highway, how the hell are you going to get the vehicle from the middle of the damn road to off to the side without causing a major accident? That's why I like, as long as you can still use the gas or diesel engine to move the vehicle, to still generate electricity to move the vehicle out of the way, that's what I'm okay with. If you can safely move the vehicle out of the way and not have it.
In the case of the Lucid Air, like, you could actually be at 0% battery and it'll still run for a limited time. But even, like, when it completely runs out of battery power, it still has, I believe, a separate 12-volt battery to keep some of its base systems working. And I was actually impressed to see that that's an electric car that actually can go 500 miles on one charge on the highway. Electric cars don't do as well on the highway.
Oh, no, they don't. They do good, okay in the city, real good in the city, but when it comes to going down the highway and shit, yeah, no.
But even then, is it worth $150,000? I would say no.
Ah, shit, I'm a negative. I gotta fucking get another loan from the bank inside the game. I don't wanna get a loan. I'm already $1 million in debt. But I need to buy some fertilizer.
My Civic could go like a little bit over 400 miles on one tank of gas, in theory. And when it runs dry, guess what? It takes less than 5 minutes to fill it back up.
Yep, I'm in the hole. I am really in the hole right now. I can't even get any more money. Fuck. I gotta take care of my crops, man. I gotta take care of my crops. I need to make moolah to make moolah. I gotta spend moolah to make moolah.
I guess the only real downside of my Civic is it has to have premium gas in it, but even then, that almost doesn't matter with how good the fuel economy is.
Yeah.
And how relatively small the fuel tank is, about 13.2 gallon. But turns out you can actually go pretty far on that 13.2 gallons.
Oh yeah, I got a 15 gallon. I think there's a. I believe it's a. No, it's not a 15. It's got to be a 20 gallon. It's probably because yeah. When I filled it up out of a quarter of a tank, it took about 15.5 gallons to fill it up. So yeah, my truck has about at least a 20 gallon tank.
I thought about putting in like a
And I get
5 gallon reserve fuel cell.
I get about what? Like if I'm getting some decent gas mileage, like if I actually do this position relearn, and like if I actually keep on top of my truck like I have been, I get about 300 miles per tank, sometimes a little over, but my average is about 250 to 300 miles per gallon, on a fucking entire tank of gas on my truck. My truck has, I can drive a good, 250 to 300 miles on my truck. Easily. That's a
I
nice
guess
thing
part of it,
about having...
you won't get as good efficiency since of the aerodynamics of the truck and the gearing, perhaps. Though my car's geared pretty low, though it has 2 overdrives. And it's so streamlined.
Well, the problem is with my truck is I have lower gearing in my truck than what Patrick has in his car. He has a
And possibly
but the sad
even
thing
more
is,
so than in my
his
Civic.
car has a racing transmission in it. I have a standard transmission in my truck. I have a little inline 4. He has a fucking V8 racing engine. Racing transmission.
And the both of you
And
have like 5 speeds, and I have a 6-speed.
Yeah, and the problem is, I can fucking smoke him off the line really fucking quickly with my truck. I could probably do the same thing if he allowed me to drive his car and I fucking did that, I would probably smoke him in his car because I'm just a better driver than he is when it comes to shifting a manual transmission. He's only been shifting a manual transmission for what? Since he got the car. Which is literally, less than 10 years, like 10 something years. I've been driving manual transmission vehicles since I was 6, dude.
And I've, out of the 3 of us, been doing it.
I got experience on manual transmission vehicles.
Like, I've been doing it probably like almost a year now, and I've been doing it the least out of the 3 of us.
Yeah. I got the experience, I got the knowledge, and I know, and I also know my vehicle very well. Like, I can fucking get my truck up and going real quick, but then when as soon as I get past the 60-mile-an-hour mark on my truck, it takes fucking ever to get to max speed. 55, 60 miles an hour is usually where it starts taking its time to get some speed going. That's for sure.
I mean, in my Civic, it can be a little fun to launch onto the highway. Like, I'll have it in 3rd or 4th, and if I have a straight shot, and then I'll have it at half throttle or 3/4 throttle, and sometimes rev it out to like 5,000 or 6,000 RPM. It redlines at 7, and before shifting up. And listen to that VTEC roar.
Yeah, it's like, I love my truck. My truck does wonders. At the same time, I know what my truck is capable of and what it's not capable of. Yes, I have topped my truck out of 130 miles an hour in my truck before the governor kicked in and said, fuck you, you ain't going any faster than this. My speedometer stops at 100. I was going 30 miles over the speedometer. Like, I was fucking cooking that speedometer on that fucking thing. The only reason I know
I have
was
a
going
digital
130
speedo.
The only reason why I know I was going 130 is because of GPS, watching the GPS monitor going, hey, you're going 130 in a fucking 90. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. There's no cars. It's the middle of the goddamn night. I'm on the interstate. I'm bored. And plus, me having, paying attention to the GPS shit, I can tell when there's a speed trap ahead. Yeah, so I'm pretty good at that. Yeah. I will admit, there's times where I just have a fucking lead foot and I just want to go. But at least I'm respectful when it comes to that, though. Like, yeah, I may have a fucking, like, oh yeah, I want to go fast as fuck, but I only make sure I'm in a, I can do it safely without affecting other people. So if it's middle of the
Oh,
night,
and look,
there's no other vehicles on the game. What?
look at who's playing Grand Theft Auto again.
Grand Theft Dick, you mean? At this point?
Mm-hmm. By the way, like, are you streaming in VR chat or only on Farm Sim?
VR.
Hmm.
So they can hear, my stream can hear your voice loud and clear, boy.
I guess that means I can't really play my music without copyright problems. Oh well, I can listen to it in the background.
Well, as long as it's Nice to Seeing Dog, Crimson the Fox, and Shaky Tails, I can play their music in my streams in the background because I got permissions to have their music in the background of my streams. Because I actually have emails from them stating that I can't. So, because I asked them kindly, hey, I do a lot of live streaming. Would it be okay for me to, have your music in the background playing? I'll give you, I will say that, hey, yeah, I'm playing their music in the background. I got, as long as I'm, telling the streaming services that, hey, yeah, I'm promoting these people's music because, one, I got permission, and two, I really like listening to it. I'm not going to take credit for it. And they get, I promote their music, and like, for Nice to See Dog, he was the first person I got to ask. The first person I asked. And honestly, he loves it. And then I, spoke to Crimson the Fox, and then just recently I spoke to, Shaky Tail. And, yeah. I love their music. They make some good music. And I like vibing out. So, having their music playing in the background and having permission to have their music playing in the background during my live streams, it just makes it, in my opinion, fun for everyone. They get, additional, people who can listen to their music, and they are getting, their music promoted. I'm not taking, I'm not calling their music mine. I'm giving them their full credits. I just got permissions to have their music played in the background. Granted, CD Baby, which is the company that Nice to Seeing Dog uses to, sell his music on, they tried copywriting striking me because of Nice's music being played in the background of my live streams. And I had to have a little bit of a hissy fit with them about that because they're trying to tell me, oh, you don't own these rights, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I know I don't own the rights. I've gotten permission from the music owner to have his music played in my live streams as long as he gets his credit. And CD Baby was not happy with me. And they kept on trying to copyright strike me on YouTube, and then I kept on appealing for it, and YouTube said, oh, they're saying that you don't have blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I don't have permissions. Okay. I emailed Nice, and Nice took care of the problem. So it's like, that's the only issue I've had with copyright strikes so far was because the music company failed to understand, like, I have the evidence stating that I can promote, this music in the background of my streams. And, I'm giving them the rightful, Nice owns his own music, yet he has a company that sells his CDs and stuff. I'm not going to sit there and claim it as my music. It's nicest music. I just have permission to have it played and get it played in the background while I'm streaming. So it's like I'm not going to sit there and claim that's just not who I am. I will say if I got permission, I got permission. I'm just straight up honest. There's a couple of songs on my music playlist that I don't have permission to play in the background, and I make sure I always skip those songs so those are not showing up on my stream because I don't want to get in trouble. Until I get permission to play that music in the background, that music's not going to get played in the background. I'm surprised I was able to buy enough fertilizer to get this field done. I'm running pretty damn low. I'm at 14%, and I'm about halfway done with this pass. This last, well, second to last pass. The last pass is just a tiny sliver, so I'm not even going to bother that. Doing that fertilizer pass. It's not going to be worthwhile. That's fine. But at least I got the majority of the field fertilized. It's just going to be a tiny sliver that's not fertilized, which is fine. I ain't gonna make a big difference.
Ooh. He is live again.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it! That means I'm gonna have to end my stream because I gotta keep my stream streak going, man. I gotta keep my stream streak going. I gotta keep that shit going. I gotta keep that up. I'm almost at 35. This will be 34 out of 35. So, when I hit 35, I'll get a bonus. I just gotta end my stream so that way I don't get the stream copyright for having the other streaming quit in the background because it's computer wise. But that's fine.
Yep.
Hey,
But at least now I can pull it up from here.
I hope you guys enjoyed my stream today. Oh! Hey, that's nice. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get my stream, doing it online so I keep my stream straight.